Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along with the power of the pen. Say what's on your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Estee Bullock. I am your host of Estee's Power of the Pen. And today I have the most distinct pleasure to sit with someone who is extraordinary. And there's no underestimation about this word when I describe this woman. She is extraordinary. Her name is Makeba Riddick Woods. Makeba Riddick Woods. Makeba's credits include, let's try to go down the list. J-Lo and LL Cool J, Beyonce, Rihanna, Toni Braxton, Tamar Braxton, Rita Ora, David Guetta, EDM superstar DJ, and just when you think she's covered every genre, she even jumped in the gospel with Corinne Hawthorne. I'm talking about, won't he do it? She's worked with the amazing producers on songs like All I Have, Hold You Down, Deja Vu, Rude Boy, Love and War, and again, Won't He Do It? Makeba, how are you?
I am blessed. I am just feeling really good. I just got back from the West Coast, and travel and change, and a change of scenery is always good for me. So I'm blessed. I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. I can hear it in your voice. Yes.
Well, first of all, let me give my love to my bro, Kev, and the girls, your daughters. Yes. How's the family?
Yes, the family is good. We are coming to the end of the school year. I can't believe the school year is over already. And my oldest is going to junior high school. I cannot believe it. I don't even want to believe it, but yes, that's what's going on. So everybody is good.
So let me ask you this. Are your daughters, are they just still like, yeah, that's mom? Or do they realize that mom is known all over the world?
My oldest, I think that she realizes it because when I go to her school, her friends say to me, you're famous, aren't you? You're famous. You're a songwriter, aren't you? And, so my oldest daughter realizes it, but my younger two, no, I'm just mommy. I'm just mommy to them, that's all.
That is amazing. And I have to say this to you. I posted it on your page, but I'm going to say it to you. Happy belated Mother's Day, Makeba.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a young whippersnapper, just finding my way. So I'm sure to see me come so far is amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, and look, Makeba, listen. So for those people that are listening, you may not know the history, but I'll give you a little bit. Makeba and I attended Berklee College of Music together back in Boston, Massachusetts, and that's where it all began for our relationship, our friendship. And we even did some stuff in practice rooms.
Yes.
We even worked on some music in practice rooms.
Yes.
Those were some days and times that I will never forget, and I will definitely cherish. And just to see what God has done for you and how your life and your career has catapulted, it's just amazing. Makeba, let me ask you this. Okay, so it's 2023. We're watching the Super Bowl. The halftime show comes on, and it's Rihanna. Yo, do you realize that all over the world there are people doing TikTok videos to Rude Boy?
Yeah, man, that is mind blowing. I mean, all gathered around the TV, my daughters and my mother-in-law, my aunt, my husband, and they were of course, the girls were dancing, going crazy, and my mother-in-law and them were trying to, say to my daughters, mommy wrote that song. Mommy is a part of this, So, I mean, first of all, to see what Ree has done. I met her when she was 16 years old, and we started working together, and I was a mentor and a friend, and, I mean, we traveled the world together. We had big hit records together. So to see where she is in her career, for me, is mind-boggling. It's like, you sitting next to your cousin right here, and y'all are writing songs and making up songs to, this girl goes on to become a global superstar. So, you know, for me, it was incredible to watch. It was incredible to know that I was a part of that as well.
So it doesn't stop there, because let's talk about this Renaissance tour. This,
yes.
You know, you got the Renaissance tour happening now.
Yes.
And your pen, power of the pen,
yes.
your pen is still strong.
The power of the pen, and this is what I tell people all the time. Publishing is the gift that keeps on giving for the rest of your life. And
Can you say residuals?
Residuals. Even after you're gone, your kids and their kids will live off of the power of your pen.
Yeah.
So don't take it lightly if you know you have a gift for songwriting or a desire to write songs. You know, do not take it lightly, because your thoughts, your emotions can touch people around the world for an eternity. So it's serious.
So I'm really glad you said that, because it actually sets up my next question.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving this encouragement to others now, right? But when you started out, or I won't even go that far back, when you sat down with these artists, because you don't just write songs for these artists, you've been blessed to actually sit in the rooms with these artists and actually create with them.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see how far the music would travel?
I mean, in the beginning, no, because in the beginning, I'm not knowing that, you know, these songs are going to top the charts and, you know, a listening audience of 600, 700 million. I'm not even thinking about that. We are really honestly in there just having fun and just seeing what we can come up with. So I'm not even thinking that, you know, I'm gonna get a royalty check from Israel. I'm gonna get a check from Nigeria, and people out in these countries, you know, that don't even speak English, they know my songs and they're singing my songs. I'm not thinking about that at all. I think as I've been in the industry longer and become more seasoned, yes, I think about that. But in the beginning, no, not at all.
Makeba, you've not just written for artists and worked with producers, but you've collaborated, which is it can be a blessing and an experience. I won't say a blessing and a curse. I'm gonna say a blessing and an experience, right? What would you say are the pros and cons and not cons that people should run away from, but just be aware of when it comes to collaborating? Because I've collaborated, and I know people like yourself that have collaborated, and there are times when you come out with the most amazing projects and outcomes, and there's sometimes that, you know, it's almost like getting into a relationship with somebody, and then you find out that they're not what you thought they were. Like, what's your take on collaborations?
Well, here's the thing. It's like collaborating is, just imagine coloring with somebody. You have a coloring book or a coloring page, and you got 3 or 4 different people with their vision of what color the sky should be and what color, you know, the shoes should be and what color the ground should be.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've been in those situations where it did not work, where the collaboration did not work. So it's delicate. It's a very delicate dance of the minds and emotions. And again, sometimes it comes together and the magic happens and the hit record comes together, and sometimes it just does not. You may not vibe with that person. They may not vibe with your ideas. So, it's a delicate dance.
Your creativity is just unending, and the blessing now is that you have decided to give back to others and to take some time out of your schedule of what you have on your plate to now make time for others and to develop others. Talk to me about the Young Dreamers Consulting Agency.
So the Young Dreamers Consultancy Agency is a company that I created to offer those services and resources that the major labels no longer offer. When I started 20 years ago, 18 years ago, the major labels were putting up the budgets for marketing, putting up the budgets for artist development, putting up the budgets to go in and do demos. They don't do that anymore. There is no artist development. You have to build your own fan base and have your own marketing strategy. So I created this company, the Young Dreamers Consultancy Agency, and then my marketing company, which is Vector Plus Marketing, to offer those services back to artists that are no longer offered by the majors. And we do vocal production sessions. We do recording packages for those who want to cut an EP or cut a single. We do songwriter mentorship. We do song pitching to publishers and artists. And then on the marketing side, we do all of the digital marketing. We do the branding. We do photo shoots. We do content creation. So all of these things that an artist, you need to have these things to put your package together before you go and approach a major label. It's gone are the days of going to the label and I can sing and I'm gonna blow you away with my singing, and they're gonna say, well, how many monthly Spotify listeners do you have? How many songs do you have recorded? Do you have anything out on SoundCloud? How many streams do you have? So we help with all of those resources for an artist.
First of all, everything that you named, it sounds like you guys got it all covered, Makeba. Like, that is amazing.
Well, we try to because it's so many layers to, a lot of people think that you see an artist like a Rihanna or Beyonce or Doja Cat or any of these big artists, right? And you think, oh, they just woke up one day and they had this hit record and it was on the radio and millions of people heard it. And no, there's a whole team, right? There's no I in team. So there's a whole team that comes together to help take this artist to the stratosphere. And in today's climate of the music industry, you need to have that team before you get to the major. They want to see the record moving. They want to see streams on the record. They want to see that you have fans and followers. They want to see a video on YouTube. They want, so we like to prepare you as best we can so that you have your best product when you go and approach the major labels.
First of all, that is powerful, and you're right. And I want to say thank you on behalf of the people that you are working with and the people that you will work with, because these young people now, I think, what is your take on social media and the misconception about success? Or do you think that the road to success has changed, where, they used to say that, these things don't happen overnight, right?
Right.
But I think that social media is giving, a generation this perception that it could possibly happen. Do you still stick to the old term that it doesn't, or do you think that maybe they might be onto something?
No, I still think success does not happen overnight, because you could have a record that goes viral on social media, on TikTok, but after that, then what? Right? After that, do you have a follow-up record? Do you have a manager that can set up shows for you? Do you even know how to perform? Do you know how to perform on stage? Do you know how to talk and do an interview? So, no, success, it still has to be developed. It still has to be built. And maybe, you have a viral record and in the interim of 6 months, you're working on an EP or you're working on an album, and you can do some of those developmental things in that time frame. But overnight, no. It does not happen for anyone anywhere overnight, regardless of social media. Because if you look at the artists that really have longevity, that really last, and 10, 15 years later are doing shows and traveling the world, doing tours, those are well-developed artists. So, yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And it's hard to convey that to this generation because of what they see. But again, thank God for people like you and your team that is here to help and assist. And I'm gonna see who.
Educate. I want to be that for people, because, like you said, this generation, they see things very differently than we did when we started, because the industry is so different. But it's just because you see it differently doesn't mean that what you're seeing is better, right? Mm-hmm. So in order to get to the better, you got to know the basics. You have to know the fundamentals. Those kind of things never change.
I recently saw that you have joined forces with Cobalt Music, and I'm not sure how much you can expound, but tell me about that. Like, what is going on with that?
Oh, my goodness. that is wow, a huge blessing. So Cobalt Music is a admin and publishing company, and what they do is collect your royalties and admin your royalties around the world. Also, A&R services, pitching your songs, putting you with artists. You know, the same thing that a major publisher would do. But with my deal, and with a lot of the deals that they do at Cobalt, it's an admin deal where you're not giving away such a huge percentage of your ownership of your publishing for them to admin your music, right? So they are very fair. We like that. We love that. We love that. It's such a fair system. And the A&R who signed me, I've known him for 20 years because he was one of my reps at BMI when I first started in the game, like fresh out of college. And the president of Creative, she was one of my managers at Rock Nation. So it just, the marriage that happened between myself and Cobalt just made so much sense.
Okay, so you just took me to something. You just took me to a place that I didn't even have on my list of questions.
You know you was going to go, right? Okay.
I didn't even have in my list of questions, but I'm going to talk about it because, truthfully, it's actually the reason why you and I are still talking on this call right now today. Mm. What is the importance, Makeba, of relationships and integrity?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. That is such a powerful question and answer that I'm getting ready to give you because people need to know. You know, in this business, yes, we're talented, we're creative, and you know, we have all of these wonderful talents. But what makes this business go round, what's going to give you longevity in this business is relationships. Mm. Now, Estee, you know, me and you have known each other for over 20 years. And,
we're not going to put that number out there like that. We're not going to put that number out there like that. We're not
But we've known each other for a very long time. And I can truly say that most of my relationships, because I've been in the business so long, are relationships that I had when I first started with people who were interns and studio runners and, you know, interns for the Beyonce session. And now they are the president of a label. Now they are
an executive,
the head engineer, executive. You know, so maintaining your relationships and trying to have that integrity and good work ethic is paramount in this industry. Because guess what? If you mean and nasty to somebody because you think, oh, they're an intern or they come in to clean up the office or, you know, they just a studio singer, you have no idea that at the top you're going to run into that person again. And that person may be the deciding factor on whether or not you get that check or that job.
Wow.
So I have always treated everyone with integrity and respect.
Wow. That's powerful.
It's so
powerful.
True. It's something that if people don't know if these young creatives don't know anything else, be good to people. You know, try to see how you can work with people. Try to see how you can help. I know for me, I always wanted to people that I work with, how can I incentivize you? If I'm working with an A&R and I'm trying to get placements, how can I be an asset to you? You want me to demo some of the songs for your other artists that we're not even working on? You know,
come on.
Let's give and take. What can I do for you? And, you know, it doesn't always have to be like, well, what can you do for me? How can we help each other? There are people right now in this music industry that I've worked with in a music capacity, and they've helped me over the years and always been fair to me. So, you know what? They have this organization that they raise their money for, or they have this thing that they're passionate about. How can I help out with that? You know, I want to be a part of that because you helped me. You know, you always wanted to open a door for me. So let me help you open those doors. That's important to me.
I love this. I love this so much. And you know what, Makeba, you've always been that person. So I'm not surprised, but I want people to hear this because, you know, I know that some people get overwhelmed by the industry and they change. Or, genuinely so, they get caught up in the industry and they have to put up a defense. So people don't get to see that good side of them. They only see the work side.
Yeah.
But I want people to know this about people like you, that, yes, you have worked with the best of the best and you have sat in rooms with the best of the best. But guess what? You are also a kind and genuine-hearted person, and you're not just about it for yourself, but you're also, like we said, you're looking out for others as well. That's commendable. That is commendable.
Absolutely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like I said, yes, we have been blessed with some amazing, incredible gifts and some amazing opportunities and platforms. But for me and my life, if people can't see the light of Christ inside of me, then what am I doing it for? Right?
Come on.
That's my plight. That's my lifelong journey, for you to see the light in a dark world inside of me.
Makeba, what was it like when we were introduced to COVID? What was that like? What was the introduction of COVID like for you?
I mean, COVID was a very scary time for everybody. I mean, everything shut down. You don't know about your livelihood, right? How are we going to keep living? How are we going to keep making money? You don't know if, like, you go outside to the market, you're going to get something that completely takes you out of here. It was a very, very scary, dark time, I think, for the whole entire world. And it's something that we lived through a historic event, and we lived through it. And I had family members that did not survive it. So yeah, I mean, it was a scary time for everybody.
I asked you that question because I want to talk about mental health awareness. This month has been declared Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And I heard it and I was like, that's something we should definitely talk about. And I know people are into therapy, and I think that's good for people, right? But it didn't become real to me, Makeba, until last year, 2022, when I lost my mom. And when my mother passed away, I have experienced grief on a level that I have never, I have never in my life. So I'm glad you brought this up, because you brought up COVID and mental health. And COVID, we got through that. Honestly, COVID was a cakewalk compared to what I had experienced. Let me see, COVID started in 19, so I lost my mother in September of 2015, and my father August of 2015. So I lost them within a month of each other. So, yeah. And on top of that, I had just had a baby. My husband and I and our family, we were relocating back to the East Coast because my mom was sick, and I wanted to be closer to her. So all of these things, right? Had a baby, mom is very sick, and then she passes on. Moving back to the East Coast from the West Coast, left all my friends, everything that I knew, to come back to the East Coast and raise my children so they could be closer to our family. That was the hardest chapter in my life, probably the hardest chapter in my lifetime that I will have to go through. So when you talk about losing your mother, that's like, I literally felt like the mothership came to this earth and took everybody and just left me here. I was the only one here, and there were days where I could not get out of bed. I could not function, and I had to really lean heavily on my faith and heavily on prayer. And I know God, and we've walked this walk together for a very long time, but it wasn't until that period of my life when my mother left here, my father left here, that I really saw God in a different way. He had to reveal himself to me in a different way than ever before to keep me together. And that's how I manage in life. Everybody has their thing that they do and they have to get through. Mine is prayer and my faith. Well, Makeba, I just have to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And yes, you're a friend of mine. And yes, you're someone that I can reach out to, every so often. But, as we're talking about mental health awareness, one of the things I'm encouraging people to do this month and all the time is check on your friends and check on your family. If somebody comes to mind, don't let them leave your thoughts without you doing something to make sure that they're okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just letting you know how much I love and appreciate you, and I'm so proud so proud of you, Makeba. I'm thankful to God for you and your family. Seeing the woman that you become, the mother that you are, the wife that you are. And I know these are things that you probably wanted but never. I believe that without you even telling me, I believe that God exceeded your thoughts and your imagination.
Oh, my goodness, exceeded.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So when he says that I will give you more than what you ask for, exceedingly, abundantly, so that you won't have room enough to receive.
That part.
If anybody doesn't know, look at me, my life. I'm a witness. Because if it was up to life and statistics, I'm not supposed to have any of this. But God. But God. I have made him the center of it all, and he continues to pour blessings, abundance, prosperity, peace of mind. People don't know how valuable just peace of mind is. Forget about the money, forget about the success, because guess what? If you don't have peace of mind, you could have $1 million in the bank. You could have $50 million in the bank. It can't help you with what's going on in your mind. So peace of mind, I'm so thankful for that. And yes, God has exceeded beyond anything that I could have dreamt of on my wildest day when I was 11 years old saying, I want to work in the music industry. I want to be a songwriter. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do. Ain't no way I could have dreamt this. So yes, we serve an awesome God, and I just hope and pray that people look at me and hear my story and know that you can do it too. You can have it too, all of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Makeba Riddick Woods. Yo, this is so great. Thank you again for coming on today and sharing your journey and your story with this audience of mine. ST's Power of the Pen, ladies and gentlemen. If nobody knows the power of the pen, Makeba Riddick Woods knows.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me, ST. It's like, we catching up. We haven't talked in a while, but it's always a pleasure to talk to you and always a pleasure to share my story. And, anything you need from me, you got it. I'm here.
Indeed. Thank you very much again. I'm going to let you get back to your family because I know you just got back in town.
Yes, I'm actually recording. I'm actually in the booth right now. So I'm actually going to stand right up and be right in front of the microphone to finish my song. So
I love it. I hope it's a hit.
Me too. Yes, Lord. Come on. We need that. Thank you.
Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along with the power of the pen. Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along with the power of the pen. Say what's on your mind.